Welcome to a new set of videos which is focusing on the scientific and the coaching aspects of running. So I feel as a level 2 coaching running fitness and as a running geek with plenty of evidence and scientific research behind it, I'm going to try and bring you a breakdown of some of the key running terms, running sessions and anything that crops up in the running world that will help you ultimately become a better runner. The first episode of the series focuses on what we spend most of our time doing, and that's why it's an important place to start is easy running. It's widely advised that we should be spending the majority of our time easy running. You might have heard of a lot of buzzwords such as zone 2 running, run slow to run fast, and conversational pace. But what exactly is easy running? And why then is it so beneficial to our training? I define an easy run to my athletes as a slow-paced run to build aerobic fitness and ensure that you are fresh for harder sessions. They really are the foundation of your running training, especially for endurance runners who predominantly use the aerobic energy system from all distances from 5k and above. It's essential that we train aerobically on our easy runs. It's all well and good to be told that running easy will benefit your training, but where is the supporting evidence for this? So running easy promotes physiological development in 3 main cellular areas, the first of which is introducing the mitochondria count in your cells. So the mitochondria are in all of our cells and are the parts that produce adenosine triphosphate, commonly known as ATP, which is the main source of energy used in the body for exercise. When we increase our mitochondria count, we can become more efficient during exercise and recover faster both during and after exercise. The second area is within our muscle cells, where we are increasing the level of a protein called myoglobin. Myoglobin is higher within the slow twitch type 1 muscle fibers that are important for endurance running. So oxygen is transferred from your blood to your muscles far more effectively with higher levels of myoglobin. Another key benefit of easy running is the expansion of our capillary network within our muscles. So capillaries are our smallest type of blood vessel, and with more capillaries we can improve oxygen delivery to the muscles and remove waste, which has a benefit to our aerobic endurance. The scientific benefits do not stop there, however. As the more we run, our ligaments and our tendons adapt to the stress that running places on our body. When we run easy, we can safely promote these adaptations to make our bodies more resilient to a more strenuous session in our training schedule. This is why I would advise a beginner runner to run mainly easy to encourage a safe and enjoyable long-term approach to their training, as tempting as it is to want to run as fast as you can out of the door at times. So easy running also plays a role in improving our running economy, and I think running economy is a vital part of training, which I will cover in more detail in future videos. However, it essentially means the amount of oxygen that we need to run at a certain pace. As a byproduct of all the physiological adaptations I've mentioned and an improvement in your running form, this will help to improve our running economy, requiring less oxygen to run at certain paces. This will only make us better runners. So we want to try and run at an easy pace, but how can we determine that we are sticking to an easy pace and not going too fast? So one method we can use, which is quite a good method, is to train to heart rate, which is essentially we're training at a percentage of what our heart rate maximum is. So it's roughly about 220 or 230 minus your age would be the heart rate maximum. So this is where our zone training comes from, and you might have heard of, say, zone 2 for easy running. So we start at zone 1 is really light for recovery, zone 2 is easy running, zone 3 is like a steady run, zone 4 is more of a tempo run, and then zone 5 is more of a maximal, like an interval pace run. So I guess the advantages of heart rate running are that it depends how you feel on the day sometimes. So you might not be feeling great, but if you aren't feeling great, your heart rate is going to be higher, it's going to start higher and elevate more quickly. So it really just hold you back to run a little bit slower if you aren't feeling as well. The other thing with heart rate is that it will take into account all the other variables on the day. So the terrain, what it's like underfoot, whether you've got any elevation on your route. It's going to be harder on a hillier route or more uneven ground. So your heart rate rating will reflect this. Another advantage of heart rate training is that it's easily accessible to everyone. So we all run and have these devices on our wrists, like Garmin's or other brands available, and we can all see that they give us a heart rate reading. Whether it's accurate or not based on the wrist is hard to say. I don't think they're too accurate, but you can get a more accurate heart rate monitor, which will give you some more precise values and results there. But again, even going off your wrist heart rate, it still gives you a value. So if you were working harder, this value, whether it's not accurate or not, would still go up and down depending on how hard you're running. So what are some of the disadvantages of running two heart rates? So I think you can get a little bit bogged down in the stats and the details sometimes. And I also think if you keep looking at your watch all the time to look at your heart rate, sometimes the pressure of that sends your heart rate up anyway with a bit of anxiety. So I don't really like to get bogged down in it too much. I've never really looked at my heart rate on my watch whilst I was running, and they tend to not work too well sometimes as well. So on a cold day you might find that your watch might not even register as a heart rate, for example. So I tend to avoid heart rate, but I know a lot of people use heart rate training, and if you had a heart rate monitor, I can see the uses in this. So what's another way to ensure that we're always running at an easy pace? So a method I like to use is to go by physical paces, be that minute mile is my choice. So I tend to find that when I'm a bit fitter and like in a marathon block, feeling good on the day, I can do an easy run at around 7:30 per mile. But I know at the moment I'm not as fit, nowhere near where I used to be. It's probably going to be 8 to 8:30, so I go off a wide range that's anywhere between 7:30 and 8:30 per mile would be my easy pace. So to work out this pace, I've said that 7:30 is probably the fastest I do an easy run at. If I link this back to like my 5k and my marathon paces for in a race at my best, my 5k is probably around 5:40, 5:45s, running at my best, and my marathon somewhere around 6:40s. So it's around about 2 minutes slower than my 5k and 1 minute slower than my marathon time if I'm somewhere above 7:30s and going up to 8:30s on my easy run. I guess you can have a sense check of that you wouldn't want to do an easy run that's faster than marathon pace. I'd also caveat this by saying that I'm not obsessing over the pace of my runs in no way, shape or form. So I'm giving myself quite a wide target there of, if the conditions are good and I'm feeling good, be somewhere near the 7:30s. But then on the flip side, if the conditions are tough and I'm not feeling so well, I could run 8:30 or even over for an easy run. We can also use something called the rate of perceived exertion to help determine how fast we run at easy runs. So it's commonly shortened to RPE, and you might see this on a scale of 1 to 10, whereby 1 to 2 is like sitting down or walking, 3 to 4 is probably that easy zone, so that's like a light jog. You should be able to have a conversation at that pace really. Then 5 to 6 is going on for like a steady run, 7 to 8 a tempo, and then 9 to 10 more of a max rate interval, like a short 400 or a 800 meter track rep at that pace. So you can use a combination of all of them, and I like to use a combination of the paces as a rough guideline, and then also check in on myself by running to feel, can I still have a conversation at that pace? So for example, now I'm running up a slight hill. I've noticed that I'm speaking a little bit more laboured. I should be able to speak fine on an easy run, so I'll know to drop back a bit and drop into an easier pace. Another advantage of using RPE is that it doesn't require any technology. You're not relying on your watch. So just as it happens on today's run, my watch has come up with the storage settings are full, so it's not going to log my run, which means I've not got my pace or my heart rate. So both of the first methods would have been pretty redundant today. So it's a good job I'm running to an RPE of about 4. Thank you for watching the first video on easy running. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you found this video useful, if there are any topics you would like me to cover in future videos alongside the schedule of videos that I would be planning on producing. And please do hit that like and subscribe button if you did enjoy this content. See you in the next one.